Hello, and welcome to tonight's Wellness Wednesday webinar. We are so excited to have so many friends and guests from around the world jump on tonight to listen to some incredible value and information that we are bringing from a brand new hot opportunity. My name is Loren Richards. I'm coming to you from outside of Austin, Texas. And I want to just give you a little bit of my story. I want to share with you my background, a little bit of my knowledge, so you can kind of get a better perspective of the information that's going to be brought to you tonight. So I am a mom of three. I have a 3-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 10-year-old. I am married to a teacher. He is a geometry teacher. He was a high school football coach for 20 years. And I come from traditional healthcare. And so if you or a guest on or a friend tonight know someone in the healthcare world, this incredible Zoom is going to be tons of value coming from the healthcare field. All of the testimonies that you're going to hear tonight and the information from the professionals is going to be from someone in the healthcare field. I am a cardiac and vascular sonographer. I worked in healthcare for 7 years. I've been doing this business full-time for the past 6 years. When I was originally presented with this, I was over my dead body, will I ever do network marketing? I just was very closed-minded to the idea of being the vessel that was going to take information and educate people. I came from a very Western medicine background, and I thought that this was over my dead body opportunity. Little did I know that I would absolutely fall in love with the naturopathic side of wellness. And so I started this mission that I was going to go out and share with every single person that I knew to go out and make an impact while I made an income. Like I said, I've been in the industry 6 years now. I'm a multiple 7-figure earner, and I wake up every single day with that same passion to go educate and change people's lives. And tonight, for this incredible Wellness Wednesday, I have my very first guest on tonight. I have had the opportunity to work closely with Shanna for the last year or so, and she is she brings incredible value to this company, incredible value to this team, so that you can kind of get more of her background. But Shanna is a family nurse practitioner. She's devoted to helping others take a proactive role in their health through health promotion and prevention. With her background as a nutritionist, she understands the importance of adding vitamins and supplements to build a person's foundational and overall health and well-being. Her mission is bringing awareness to the simplicity available to better one's health. She has an enthusiastic and comprehensive approach to helping others formulate and take action to create a way of health that works best for them. She was born and raised in Austin, Texas, and she loves outdoors, traveling, baking, and shopping. She's a mom to 1 little boy and 2 pups, as well as a wife. She currently is in Bastrop, Texas, which is crazy because I just left from that county, and I wish I would have known her when she was there. But I got to spend a little bit of time with her and her boy when we were in Salt Lake recently. And I'm just so blessed to have her a part of this company, to have her a part of this team. She brings incredible value. So without further ado, I would love to introduce you to Shanna. Go ahead and turn your video on for us, Shanna.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so I would love to just kind of go back and forth with you and interview style with you on some of the questions that I kind of, thought that would bring value to our company, and share with other people out there. Why are we attracting so many healthcare professionals? Why are we attracting so many people from the medical field to 3? So I'd love to just tell you, just for you to tell everybody on the screen tonight, what led you to being a nurse? What led you to go and then become a nurse practitioner?
Yeah. So I started early on. I love science. I'm slightly a nerd. And so science was a big deal to me. And in my teen years, I was diagnosed with some female health problems. And so I got into the medical world that way. No one in my family is in healthcare at all. I had no one to lead me by example, but due to my own health concerns and problems, started doing some research, and I was like, I've always wanted to help people. I love science. This is what I need to do. So I started out actually getting a degree in molecular nutrition because that was related to a lot of the health concerns that I was having. But that just wasn't fulfilling my heart the way that I wanted it to. So I decided I was going to take it a step further, become a nurse. I have been a nurse technically for 12 years. And then I went back to school because I love the education part of it. And as a nurse, working in traditional healthcare in the hospital, you don't get that time. Even as a nurse practitioner, you technically don't get that time with your patients to be able to bring awareness to things that they can do to prevent diseases. But I got more of a relationship with my individual patients through becoming a nurse practitioner. And that's ultimately what drove me, is I just like talking to people and being there for people, helping people. And so that was my next step.
I love it. And you are definitely a personable person. I would totally love it if you would be my provider. So I know you haven't, you currently, like, how long were you a nurse practitioner? Like actually practicing?
So almost actually practicing for 4.5 years. And then I have been a stay-at-home mom for the last a little over a year.
Awesome. And going back to when you were actually truly working in the field on a day-to-day basis, what challenges with healthcare what kind of challenges do you see that prevent you from, experiencing what you're really truly looking for in that profession?
Yeah. So time constraint is a really, really big one. Healthcare it's a business, and they just are popping patients in and out. You don't get the time. Taking a proactive approach to your health is really important to me. Talking about health prevention and promotion, because that's where it starts. Your nutrition is your foundation. Your health starts there. But when you are going to see the doctor, it's usually for a problem. So you're there to discuss that problem, not necessarily how to prevent that problem, because it's already there. Most people don't take the step to go to their wellness checks, where that foundation gets started. So I would say time constraints is the biggest thing, just because you have to spend your time educating on whatever, new medications you're prescribing. You get a short snippet of time to educate on ways to possibly reverse that role or prevent it if it's on its way to becoming towards whatever disease process there may be.
Right. No, I feel that, because as a sonographer, you're trying to fit in as many patients as you can in your 8 to 10 hour window. It's like boom, 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 boom. They're not getting a whole lot of time to really be proactive on the cause and things like that. So I can totally see the time constraints being something that is limiting for that. Now, my next question is, okay, so I've heard, this is just me being in the field for 6 years. I've heard that when people go and talk to their providers, their physicians, about nutrition or wanting to try certain products, doctors kind of they kind of scoff at nutrition. Can you provide any insight into that?
Because my background was nutrition, that really helped me. But I think, when I was going through my courses to become a nurse, to become a nurse practitioner, you're not given the breakdown, the chemistry and biology behind nutrition. So what they focus on is they focus on the disease process, whether it be diabetes, heart disease, and, heart disease, they talk about heart healthy diets. They just tell you what foods to tell patients, not the actual biology and chemistry process behind why those foods may be better or not better. Same thing for diabetes. So I just think they're just truly uneducated. So they don't know what to say. And so they just kind of ignore it in a sense.
Right. Yeah. So just kind of avoid it. So it's not necessarily it's more like, I just don't know enough about this, instead of, don't do it at all.
I think yes, exactly.
Gotcha. And then, so when 3 was presented to you, when you truly dove deep into the line and the science, why do you believe that this is kind of the gold standard for, functional health and wellness?
Yeah. There's a couple of reasons. The first reason is the actual sourcing of our ingredients. They are more natural, not synthetic, and plant-based, which is really important. Your body's able to typically absorb those better. Second is our absorption technology. You can't find the panel of ingredients that we have with that technology to actually prove that we are getting what we're taking. Most vitamins you only get about 10 to 15%, which is nothing. So you're just really essentially flushing your money down the toilet. And then, excuse me, just most people don't understand that you're not truly absorbing supplements. So I think they're kind of uneducated and in a sense ignored too, but our nutrition is the foundation for our health. So I truly do think with the things that we're constantly exposed to, the environment is changing, that our foods that we're consuming are not as nutrient dense as they used to be. And so supplementation is even more important now than it was maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. And I'm so on board with that. Like, you just don't know what you don't know. And so when someone brings awareness, which is majority of what we do as far as like education, like I tell people all the time, you're on a platform to education. Most people have rose-colored glasses on. Most people don't know what they don't know. And so when you're out there educating on why this is the gold standard, as far as everything else that's out there, talk about like your drugstore nutrition and the ability to tell people why this is different. And I agree with you. It truly is the gold standard, not just from the ingredient standpoint, right? Obviously we have the most clean, the most plant-based, all natural product, but we take it even further to absorption. And we all know that you can't eat your way to health and wellness. And it's about not what you eat, it's about what you absorb. And so when you dive down that rabbit hole for absorption and trying to just, be proactive with telling people about proactive wellness and absorption technologies, like people are just like, wow, I had no idea that I was wasting money. I had no idea that I was taking something that wasn't absorbed. And so we always say, like, all nutrition is not created equal. It is not created equal. And when you start to truly evaluate like what you were taking versus what we have available here, like there's no way to go back. There's no way to go back because you'll know. So I love that. I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite 3 product?
So for me, it is kind of hard to pick just one, but if I had to pick just one, I think I would pick Purify. Purify plays a pivotal role in your nutrition. So we have built-in systems in our body, our kidneys, our liver, our lymphatic system, that are supposed to help eliminate toxins and rid our bodies of waste. But just like your car, your body, over time, use, exposure, those things start to slow down and don't work fully to their maximum capacity. And so the Purify helps those organs essentially rid of the toxins. And then also, it helps promote gut health, which is the foundation for a lot of hormones and body responses that are essential to life.
And tell me, what do you do? Like, what's your regimen? Like, do you take all the products in the morning? Do you take Purify at night? Like, what's your regimen?
So I typically take Vitality with my lunch. I am on thyroid medication, so I space things out. And then I take my Immune Revive and Purify at nighttime, or at bedtime, I should say. And then after dinner, I will take my Eternal and Collagen if it's in my 10 days.
Awesome. Yep. I am all about the Purify at nighttime too. Okay. So one of my last questions is like, when you're out just talking to people, what's your advice or your message about overall like health and wellness? We're living in today's times where health and wellness is like a subject. Everyone's kind of waking up to this wellness revolution where, our foods are toxic and the air we breathe is polluted, and like everyone is waking up to, we need to do better. So what is your message for people about, taking care of themselves?
Usually I will tell people, you can't fix everything at once. So you have to take time, take consistency, start one habit make it a consistent habit, and then habit stack, add in new habits. And then it's never too late to change things. If you're not happy with where your health is, you are the person that has to make the change. So figure out what you want to change most and go from there.
Yep. Couldn't agree more with you. I want to just say thank you so much for jumping on. We have a few incredible testimonies tonight, and I would love for you to stay on, Shanna, and help me like kind of just break down the testimony, give me your advice, your suggestions, or maybe your input and your thoughts on each one of these testimonies. But here at 3, we are so incredibly like driven by results. You know, I always say you can't feel prevention, but sometimes when you're just so nutritionally deficient, magic happens as soon as you take these products. And so the results that we see on a day-to-day basis and the testimonies that we hear they're literally life-changing. And so the first guest that I would love to have come on tonight, if you haven't already caught on, this event tonight is full of healthcare professionals. My next guest that I would love to bring on tonight is Morgan McBride. She is a registered nurse from Granbury, Texas, and I would love for you guys to kind of hear her testimony and hear a little bit more about her.
Hi, guys. Hey, Loren. Okay, so I am an RN. Are you able to hear me, Loren?
Perfect.
Okay, I am an RN. I've been practicing for about 4 years now. I've had my license, and I'm a mom of 2. So I have actually not worked as a nurse for a little over a year now. My babies took my priority, and I am 6 months postpartum. I have a little 6-month-old, and that's when I really started looking for something because I felt terrible. I didn't, I felt just yucky. I was having problems like tummy problems, like severe constipation all through my pregnancy. Postpartum was horrible. I had no energy. I was taking, 2 to 3 naps a day with my son. And I have a 4-year-old too, so I was not able to, I was, on a floating device. I wasn't drowning, but I wasn't thriving. We weren't getting to go play and do all the fun things. And so I was like, I need to make a change in my life. We had already started to go more organic in our diet. We were trying to be better, but it's one of those things, you eat one junk food and you hurt for a week. So I got in touch with Loren, and I decided to make the jump, and I tried these products because the science, all of the ingredients, everything, the fact that they don't have the synthetic stuff, because I typically don't tolerate these kind of products very well. I don't tolerate, everything I've tried in the past has upset my stomach more, makes me jittery. It's the caffeine products. So I started taking the Vitalite because I am breastfeeding. I started the Vitalite. I started one product at a time, and I was amazed. Literally the next day, I did not have the constipation problems. I'm having normal stomach stuff, and I skipped naps. I was like, what? Amazed, because I was still about 2 months postpartum. I'm up all night with the baby, playing all day with the 4-year-old, but I didn't need a nap. I wasn't having that like crash mid-morning, crash in the afternoon. And it kept getting better. And I remember I texted you, Loren. I was like, Loren, how much caffeine are in these products? Like, what is this? And I started to get more involved in the company and doing more and learning more from Dr. Dan about how this really does go to the cellular level. This goes, and this is how incredible these are. There's nothing else like it. I've taken so many and tried so many different things, and nothing has ever worked. So the energy, the regular like stomach, all the digestive stuff regulated with one product. My husband made a comment a couple weeks in, and he was like, Morgan, you haven't cried. I am very hormonal while I'm breastfeeding, and I have, those days where I just get, just moody, the female moodiness. And he's like, you haven't cried. We haven't you haven't gotten upset over a little thing. Like you haven't. It was amazing how when you make nutrition and make those things a priority, how your body just works so much better. So those were what I noticed. About a month in, I was exercising every day for the first time in years while having a 3-month-old and a 4-year-old. And I have felt better than I have in years. I feel better than I did when I was playing college volleyball at, 18, 19 years old. And when I was, exercising every day, I have more energy than I do then. It's unbelievable. I am to the point I was so excited. And the more I've done and the more I have felt better, I am getting to the point, like, I tell the moms at my son's swim lessons, I meet someone at the grocery store, I'm like, you've got to hear about this, because when you find something that works, you can't stop talking about it. It's unbelievable.
Conviction. Yeah,
Yes.
it's that conviction in the line that allows you to go out and want to just educate and share. But Mom Win, congratulations, like, on all your energy. I love what this product is doing for you. I also want to recognize real quick that every single one of us on this call are from Texas. So if y'all notice the way she just said vitalite, which is Vitalite, we all say it like that. We all say it like that. So don't hold that on us. But thank you so much, Morgan, for being on and sharing your testimony. I too once was a struggling mom with a little one, and I wish that I would have found that sooner. So thank you so much for jumping on.
Thank you.
Now, the next person I want to go to is also another registered nurse. Her name is Cassie Havel. She is from Giddings, Texas. She has an incredible testimony using these products, and I would love for her to share more about her story and how these products made an impact in her life.
Well, hey, three. So like Loren said, I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 25 years. I spent the first almost 21 years in modern medicine. And like people have touched on here with healthcare, over time, I just started questioning whether or not, there was something missing. I felt like there was something missing in healthcare. And I think that was the ownership of somebody's own health. What I felt like I was doing in healthcare was we were waiting for people to have a health crisis, and we were trying to fix that. We weren't actually helping them facilitate a better optimal health so that they could have a better quality of life for longer. I'm a mom of 4. My kids are all grown. I have 1 grandbaby and 1 grandbaby that's going to be due in September. My husband and I have been married for over 18 years, and in our mid-30s, he had a health crisis. Again, we were healthy until we weren't healthy. And honestly, it's like my whole life changed in an 8-hour period that I was at work. So the idea of health and wellness wasn't something that I was accustomed to. We were just healthy people. So I never thought about doing things proactively, like taking vitamins, unless I had been pregnant. Those things never ever crossed my mind. And all of a sudden, when you no longer have that, and when there's an industry that you've spent over 20 years in tells you that there's absolutely nothing that they can do to help you, that this is going to be your life. And my husband, although he recovered after 8 months of PT and OT, one thing that didn't come back was his cognition. And basically they just told us that I should just be happy that he resolved as much as he did. And that started leading me on a path of looking for alternatives. And about 4 years ago, I decided that I no longer wanted to spend my time in modern medicine. I wanted to spend my time educating on how people can take more ownership in their own health and how they can do things every day that can help them live a much longer and more quality of life. So for me, if we're talking about my specific favorites, I'm going to talk about Eternal. Okay, because I'm 46. I am a woman that one day I was very cold natured and I was always cold. And then the next day I started having these very significant hot flashes. I would wake up in a pool of sweat at night. I started feeling like I did when I was a teenager, where I was extremely moody. It was like the straw that broke the camel's back every single day. Like everything that popped up that didn't fall exactly right in my life, I was yelling about, irritable about, extremely moody, sometimes really not even wanting to get off the couch. And then other days I was like over the moon, throwing things away because, the house was dirty. And what I found with the Eternal is that after I had taken it for a couple of days, the hot flashes lasted a lot less. The night sweats weren't as intense. And as it kept going on, I no longer have hot flashes at all. Very rarely do I have night sweats, and that only happens if I've forgotten to take the Eternal for multiple days in a row. And I know right away that I've missed it. My grandson, I have him, we started doing the Eternal because I have 2 cats that I absolutely adore, Ed and Wanda. And when he would come to the house, he would all of a sudden his eyes would start watering. And I just took the chance and just thought, well, let's just see what happens. And so he started taking the Eternal, and right away before all the watering stopped. And now when he comes in the house, he reaches for it right away because he knows his eyes aren't going to water if he drinks that. My other one is Purify, and this is strictly for my mom. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't know how many of you are empty nesters, but it didn't really hit home for me until I became an empty nester. But my mom, when we all moved out, she started just becoming a parent to all of her animals. And she has this one wiener dog that was really in poor health. And they were taking him into the vet all the time. And I still remember it to this day where the vet was like, hey, this fatty liver is getting really bad. He's sleeping all the time. He looks like he's in pain. I really think we need to think about, maybe it's time. And I remember my mom calling me about it, and I was like, well, what can it hurt? Let's try some Purify. Because it detoxes all the 5 excretory systems. So let's see what happens. And within 2 weeks, his liver enzymes were normal. And that's just crazy to me how just feeding the body what it needs helps resolve. It would have really been catastrophic for my mom. So those are my 2 favorites.
I wanted to ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Shanna, I want you to chime in on this, but Kassy, I have traveled the world with you. I have listened to you a ton speak and bring education and awareness to this product line. Tell me, there are 4 things that you always say when you're looking at wellness and you're, trying to heal your body naturally. What are those 4 processes that you always talk about that this line addresses, in your opinion?
Right. So again, we're not saying that we're curing anything, but what I am saying is that there are 4 things that cause almost every disease process out there: malnutrition, toxicity, inflammation, and oxidation. And if you can get to the root of those 4 issues and combat it, you will notice that there is a lot less symptoms. Because remember, a diagnosis is just a group of symptoms that is connected to labs and radiology results, and voila, there you have a diagnosis. And so in the end, it doesn't necessarily have to be cured, but what you want as a person is to not have the symptoms that are affecting your quality of life. So those are the 4 things, and I call them the foundational 4 that I always recommend when somebody's like, hey, what do we do for this? And I'm like, well, let's combat those 4 things.
What are your thoughts on that, Shanna?
It's so true. Traditional healthcare is giving you medication that's just going to put a Band-Aid on those. It does not go to the root cause. So when you're able to address those root causes, your whole life will change. Your symptoms may get better with whatever medication they prescribe, but I can almost guarantee you will either have an additional symptom as a side effect, or not all of your symptoms will be addressed and you still won't feel too much better, which is really sad. And I absolutely hate saying that, but it's the honest truth.
Well, thank you so much, Kassy, for jumping on, sharing your testimonies, highlighting those specific products, and giving us incredible value. All right, y'all, the next testimony and results that we're going to hear from is from my good friend, Ashley Richardson. She's also a registered nurse who lives here in Texas. She is an absolute beast in CrossFit. She inspires me all the time. I love her social media because she is so great at what she does. Ashley, can you share a little bit more of your story, your journey, and tell us what your favorite products are?
So my name's Ashley. Like she said, I've been a nurse for 19 years. And like she said, I love to work out. I started in CrossFit about 5 years ago and kind of transitioned more into Olympic lifting. What else did you say? Oh, I have 4 kids. They are 20, 13, 10, and 8. And they also take these products as well. My favorite products, actually some of the ones that people have already mentioned, but the Purify, the Vitalite, and the collagen. I just feel like they really help me, like with my recovery after working out. I work out 4 days a week, 2 to 3 hours a day. So it's hard on your joints and all of that. I can tell a difference, especially with the collagen. I feel like it, helps with my joints and just the recovery. I definitely notice a difference if I forget to take them. I actually forgot to take them with me when I went to Mexico a couple of weeks ago, and after eating all the food that tastes good, I'm having heartburn and all that kind of stuff without the products that I normally take. They're just, I can definitely tell the difference of when I take them and when I don't.
So for recovery, for someone who is into fitness and working out, you're saying that the Vitalite, the Purify, and the collagen are what you would normally take. That's what you take for your recovery, for soreness, stiffness, achy joints, things like that.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the collagen helps, like with the flexibility of, like, I just noticed my joints, especially like my knees and stuff, squatting and all that kind of, just they're not as stiff, I guess is probably the best word I could use.
Right.
I can definitely I tell a difference.
And you've stayed injury free.
Oh, yep. All 5 years.
That's incredible. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for jumping on and sharing that. I wanted you to be there are so many people out there in the fitness and nutritional world out there who don't know about 3. And so I wanted to just give your perspective as someone who loves fitness, all things working out, and definitely going out there and lifting all that weight that you do. You should definitely be sharing this product with everybody. So thank you so much for jumping on.
Of course.
And sharing a little bit of what your regimen looks like for someone who is heavy into working out and fitness. Now, Shanna, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on the fact that all of this incredible product line is in the PDR, which stands for the physician's desk reference. Like, that's not something that you hear about often. You don't hear about nutrition really being in the physician's desk reference, like a doctor being able to whip out his phone, go to the PDR.com. If you were to go to your physician and say, hey, I want to take this product line, he would be able to pull this up. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's incredible. You are so right. So many supplements are not in there because they are not regulated by the FDA. There's a lot of criteria to be able to get into the PDR. So the fact that we have done that testing, those scientific research, and we've been able to prove our purity, our bioavailability. That's amazing. And I just think it's really cool. So
yeah, and we encourage anybody to go test that. Go ask your physician, go ask your doctor, prove to people that this product line is good enough to be in the physician's desk reference. That is one of my favorite things to go kind of tout, like when I'm talking to people, I'm like, hey, are your products in the PDR? But here at 3, we have our 3 pillars, which is people, platform, and purpose. And a lot of what we talked about, because this is a global wellness Zoom, we all talked about the wellness side of things, the product line side of things, like the line that we work with on a day-to-day basis, and how it's going out and making a huge impact in this world, making an impact in the functional medicine world, the health and wellness space, the naturopathic, the holistic world. We are making a big splash with that. But we are also all people who work this business. Every single one of us are out there sharing, because word of mouth marketing is the number one tool for marketing in today's day and age. People that know and love and trust you, and they appreciate the value that you give to them every single day by sharing. And so, Shanna, I want to thank you so much for jumping on. You bring so much to the table. You're building a massive business, and I can't wait to see you up on that stage one day, going out and sharing this business with all the people that you have. We're not just a product company, guys. We're a life-changing company, and we go out and do that by making an impact while we make an income. So whoever invited you on tonight, I would love for you to get back with them. If you thought that the information was incredibly helpful, if you felt like this made a huge impact for you, because I promise you, every single one of you on this call tonight knows someone who's struggling. They may be struggling with their health. They may be struggling with their finances. You have no idea what they're struggling. And you may be the vessel that is bringing them an incredible vehicle to change their life. So go out there, share this with the world. If you have questions, please get back with the person who invited you. If you're ready to jump in and try this product line, put this good quality nutrition into your body, get back with the person who invited you, and let's get you started. Thank all of you for jumping on tonight, and have a lovely rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Bye, Shanna. Thanks to everyone who jumped on and hosted tonight and gave testimonies.